Welcome to the Don't Die Rusty podcast. I'm Rick Hanson, and we will be talking about living, not dying. We're all on this adventure together, and we will be interviewing people who inspire us to live our best lives. People with various backgrounds who will walk us down the trails they took to not die rusty. Adventure and life are many things to many people. It could be a sprint or an endurance race, but with each adventure, we become a better version of us. We hope you keep chasing those dreams, being the best you, and of course, don't die rusty. Well, hello, Don't Die Rusty Nation. I'm about ready for bed. Ashley's about ready to fall asleep here, too. We've been waiting for Kelley Lovelace here to get on. We were doing a fun little podcast, and then we lost him. So I don't know what that... But anyway, this episode is going to be about Thanksgiving and our memories of Thanksgiving. I don't know about Kelley because I can never speak for Kelley, but Thanksgiving is Ashley and I's favorite holiday.
And I was born on Halloween, so that says something.
Yeah. And the reason it is my favorite holiday is because I started this... I hate to say this, but I started coming out to the Black Hills hunting deer at my uncle's cabin 47 years ago. and I feel, but you know, it was about family, and it was about different people, and it was fun, and it was adventurous, and it was one of those things that it was a different feeling, and it was a different time. And it seems like there's a lot of pressure at Christmas because everybody's worried about presents, and everybody's worried about not the reason for the season, which I really appreciate Thanksgiving for the fact that it's just
family
and food. Yep. You know, and we were lucky enough that all of us, I mean, you're not so much you in your younger days, but as a hunting part is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But we are lucky to, we have adventures. I remember, I'm going to start this out. I remember the summers we'd come out to the cabin for, if we got lucky that we would be able to come out in the summer, pick raspberries, give them to not all of them, because I'd eat some too, give them to my aunt, and then she'd make jam, and then we'd have it at Thanksgiving. Those were the fun times. And that's what I see, and there's a lot of Thanksgiving memories, and I just want people to know that even though we might have crappy days and some holidays might seem more pressure-wise, it's funny. This is just one of my favorite holidays. I've been spending it with my mom and dad now for a good 20 years. Either I was back there or here, but it's always been one of my favorite holidays. What about you there? What about either of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess Thanksgiving kind of turned into one of my favorite holidays. I think maybe more when I moved out West River, because we still, 3 out of the 4 of my grandparents are alive. So we went every Sunday. When our family wasn't as big. Mm-hmm. So back then, I think Thanksgiving was just maybe just another holiday until my cousins started growing up and we all started having families and things like that of our own. Mm-hmm. And then that's really the only time of year I get to see like a lot of our family members and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's when it kind of turned, and then we kind of started this new tradition, like since we moved out here. I don't know when this started. I think 8 or 9 years ago, but my parents come out every other year, and we just have last year my brother came out, and his family, his wife and kids, and it was just the eight of us. And so that was the first year out here that we had just our family. That was a lot of fun. But I just love it. I love the no pressure of gifts. I like just a really good meal and everybody's just happy and there's nothing else other than just sitting down and having a meal together and hanging out and catching up. And even when I go back to Iowa, my dad's side of the family is ginormous, and we still smash into that little like two-bedroom farmhouse with 60 some of us, and I kid you
Really?
not. Yep. It's impressive. We used to, when I first started dating Jesse, so the family was big. You've heard this story.
I don't know if I have.
Okay, so my grandparents redid their basement years and years ago where they lifted up the house, and then repoured it because it was the old dirt, like basement cellar type
Yeah.
thing, right? Old school. When I first started dating Jesse, he came down to Thanksgiving, and my dad has five sisters, I believe, so six siblings, and I have so many cousins I couldn't even tell you. But there's so many that show up, right? Because it's a big thing,
Yeah.
because it's the one thing, because my grandpa's still alive. So when Jesse and I first started dating, he came down to Thanksgiving, and he couldn't believe we ate at one table, and it was two ping pong tables put together. That's how big our Thanksgiving table was, and we all sat together. And he's like, "I've never seen anything like this." He's like, "I didn't even know people did this." And there was probably, I don't know, that at that time it had to have been over
Yeah.
30 people at those two tables, and now it's all those 8-foot foldable tables, and we are all still crammed in that house. It is wild.
I thought she was gonna say, Kelly. I thought she was gonna say now we eat a pickleball table.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a football field now. Family's got so big. I can't imagine. I don't know that the all of us have really been in the same. There's so many of us
Yeah.
on my dad's side that it's crazy. But it's usually that holiday's reserved for my dad's side
Really?
for sure. Yep.
How about you, Kelly? What do you think of
Uh,
Thanksgiving?
I love Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving and Christmas. I kind of like those moments when you can get together with family and sit around a table and eat. And anytime the Lovelaces get together, we're gonna sit around the table and eat. So,
Carrots?
yeah, you got it. No, there will
Carrots and
be
kale.
plenty of meat will be eaten. Smoked, grilled, cooked. It
All
will
of
be
it.
made. Yeah, all of it. Um, I love Thanksgiving. For me, growing up, Thanksgiving kind of morphed. It was really weird. So growing up, my dad's best friend and his family would always they'd either come to our house or we'd go to their house, and it was that way growing up forever. I remember moving to Kentucky or back to Kentucky because we lived in Kansas for a while. That's where Dad met this guy Ken, and they were really really close. And so I remember as a kid riding in the back of a pickup in November from Nicholasville, Kentucky to Kansas City, Kansas.
No buddy
Oh,
heater, I
You
assume.
no, you can't get away with that stuff today.
no.
Yeah, in
Oh
the
my
back of a
gosh.
pickup. Back of a pickup truck. That happened 3 years, 3 times I can
That's
remember in my head.
insane.
One, the last year we actually got a topper.
Whoa.
Yeah, a topper, and my
What?
dad had bought these crazy gym mats, and he covered us up with that to stay warm. That's just
This is
the weirdest
insane.
stuff. Yeah, it is insane, and it happened in November. Yep.
I thought my
So
dad they made a trip out from Iowa to like Washington to see cousins, and they put him in the back, yeah, of a, but it had a topper.
yeah,
But can
the
you
first time.
imagine?
The first time there was not a topper. The first 2 times there was no topper. So
Holy
yeah,
moly.
yeah. Well, they didn't have these big double cab pickups. It was a single
No,
cab
but
So you just
truck.
threw all the kids in the back of the truck like
Yep,
dogs.
throw the kids in the back and let's go. Better bundle up. So
Oh
yeah, so
my
that's yeah,
God.
that happened. Yeah, that's a long trip too. It's like 9 hours or 10 hours
What
in the
were the
back of a pickup.
temps?
It wasn't like the Dakotas, right? Like it's below freezing, but it wasn't in that
Oh
day. It
my
wasn't like
God.
-40, but it would be like it would be in the
Okay, I
20s and
was like,
20s
well,
and
that's what
30s.
I was wondering. It was like,
Thanksgiving,
is it
baby. We're
30s?
going to Thanksgiving.
I would dread. I think I
So,
dread that holiday. That would give me trauma. Just
well,
thinking about
I
that.
think it looked pretty wild. These Kentucky people getting out of the back of this pickup in Kansas City. I'll tell you that.
This is one of the wildest things I think I've ever heard of from a
Yeah,
childhood story.
yeah. That happened. Me and my
Do
brother,
you know what's
right?
funny
So,
is your parents thought nothing of it.
not a thing.
Here's a
No.
gym mat.
Yes.
Don't stand up.
Yeah. Here's a tarp. Here's a gym mat. Here you go. Stay
Yeah.
under. Don't
Oh
get out.
my God.
You
Also,
didn't.
don't put your head up so we don't get
Yeah.
pulled over.
Listen, you didn't want to stand up. It was cold.
What
Well,
did you do for 8 hours? Just try and sleep? Because it's not like you
Yeah.
could play games without a topper or anything
Just
like that.
nope. You just try to sleep and bear through it, and then
This is
if you stopped
wild.
at a gas station, you went inside to use the bathroom and get warm. So
Yeah. I gotta pee,
right,
Dad,
I
please.
gotta go.
My
Yeah,
fingers are frozen.
well, the
that was
one thing
cool.
is, all you'd have to do
So
is stand
hey,
up if you had to go.
Yeah.
that's true. That happened a couple of times over the edge.
I bet you were
Um,
never so thankful as to sit at a table and be like, warm food inside a house. You're like,
inside a
now we gotta
house.
go
Yeah,
home for
yeah,
another 8 to
yeah.
9 hours.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my.
was crazy. Yeah, it was a Chevy Love pickup, a little diesel, yellow, and
Whoa.
we rode in the back of it. And then last year it
Insane.
was a Ford Ranger, a black Ford Ranger with a topper. Yeah,
Um,
You're like,
huh,
this is
so
luxury.
that is
luxury,
amazing.
right? And we got two gym mats. They used to hang them on the walls back in the day. So the
Yep.
mat
Yes.
underneath the goal was actually a gym mat they would pull off the wall and use to tumble and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he found two old ones somewhere and bought them at an auction or something and put one on the bottom so that the cold metal didn't keep us cold, and then threw one over on top of us as we traveled. So yeah, that's a fond childhood memory of Thanksgiving.
Did you stop
Um,
to eat? Did you get to stop to eat?
well, it was more stop to get gas or fuel,
Yeah.
right? You didn't really stop
Wow.
to get out and eat. Like, I just
Insane.
you want it to be over as quickly as you can.
No
So,
kidding.
Well, it's
right?
interesting because that was like
So,
airbags before airbags, if they were around you, you know.
Yeah.
we were,
They were like, we gotta
yeah,
bubble wrap our kids quick.
yeah. I,
And
it's just the
gymnasts.
it's just the way it was, man. Like that's you. If you were going to travel and that's what you had, that was your best car.
I want to know if anybody else has wild stories like this,
That I would love to hear that. That is awesome. It is
especially
amazing.
for holidays. So, what about
Yeah.
Christmas?
Christmas was usually just our family, so we
Huh.
didn't
Didn't
travel too much. We
travel.
might we might go travel to see our grandparents, but it was typically we were just at home when I was a kid. And again, it morphed, it changed. So
Yeah.
when I got older and started having kids, we had to figure out how to split time between families, right? Her
Yep.
family and my family, and so
Yep.
her family typically got Christmas, and my family got Thanksgiving. So we would always spend time with my mom and dad and the Camerons. That's that same family, and have Thanksgiving with them. And then as we moved, because I moved away from where my parents were close enough to do some of that, we started having our own Thanksgivings. And then now my kids are grown and they come to my house for Thanksgiving. This year it's a little different because they're going other places. So I don't know what that's going to look like as far as them coming to our house. Actually, I think we're planning a hunting trip over that because two of them won't be here. Two of the kids. So I think we're going to try to go to the Badlands for a couple of days there around Thanksgiving and chase some muleys. But yeah, so that when we started to develop our own traditions, it changed things, and it just those times mean a lot to me specifically now, just because my kids are grown. I get to be with my grandkids, and it's a lot of family, and we do have friends every now and then that show up and have Thanksgiving with us, but mostly it's family sitting around the table and eating and telling stories like this. Like I remember Thanksgiving where we drove to Kansas in a back of a pickup. Yeah, that happened more than once. So those are just it's just the way it morphed and changed. And I love Thanksgiving for that reason. It's just a time to, like, we're big storytellers. When we eat, we sit around and talk and tell stories and remember things. And you guys know my dad's passed away, and there'll be a lot of talk just because it's the first year without him. So
Yep.
there'll just be a lot of conversation and storytelling, I imagine, about Grandpa Red. That's what they call him.
Hmm.
And um, so those are really, I think they're important. I remember those times, and they're significant to me, not so much riding in the back of the truck, but the time around the table, listening to the stories those were formative moments because I got to hear all the funny stuff, and then you got to hear some of the hard stuff, and you hear all of these stories about your past or about things maybe you weren't a part of that your family was a part of. And I just think those are formative for people. So I want my grandkids and I want our kids to hear those stories. I think and this, I know we're probably not wanting to go this deep this quick, but I believe that you figure out who you are. Your identity's formed by knowing where you came from, knowing where you're going, and figuring out where you're at in the moment. And so if you can get those three things together and brought into kind of a synchronization, you'll be a pretty confident person because you have a basis that you came from, and you know where you fit in your society, your community right now, and you know where you're going. You have goals and purpose and direction, and I think that's super important. And I think you learn those things. You can really learn a lot of those things sitting around a table listening to the stories. And so that was pretty big for me. Thanksgivings with grandparents, when those did happen. Um, Thanksgivings with friends. I just remember stories they used to tell about my mom's bad driving habits and how she had a round car because all four corners were dented, right? So it's just stuff like that, right? Like you hear these stories and you laugh, and then you hear some. So I love Thanksgiving for that reason. And then as we got older, the hunting aspect kind of rolled into it, where I remember taking my kids out deer hunting or turkey hunting. Like fall turkey tags in the hills are pretty sweet,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of turkeys. And so we did some turkey hunting in the hills and some deer hunting in the hills on Thanksgiving Day and the next day. Black Friday for us wasn't like go shop, it was like let's go hunting. And so those are all real formative, and we still kind of practice some of that stuff with the hunting aspect of it in the outdoors. But yeah, that's Thanksgiving to me. I mean, it's morphed, it's changed, and it's pretty special. So
Well, I think what you just said was interesting because the formative years of Thanksgiving for me was like up at my uncle's cabin where I will be this year. And I felt bad for my cousins in the aspect that I got to spend a lot of times with my Aunt Lois, my Uncle Buster, up at the cabin during Thanksgiving because it was that time of year. And it's funny because I think it was, I'd have to go ask Cindy, but about maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, her and Connor and Chloe came up for Thanksgiving, and they realized, I mean, it's one of their favorite memories is
The
being
cabin?
the cabin,
Oh,
being up
wow.
there for Thanksgiving,
That's
being up
cool.
there hunting, being up there. It was my dad, and then Cindy and Chloe and Connor, and it's like that close feel, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's that's what it's always been to me, it's been that I don't know what's an energy that I can miss the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Oh, Kelley, did you leave?
no, I'm still here. Hold on. I'm having
Oh,
technical difficulties. We're good. We're good.
but but
It's the story of the
it
evening.
is a story
Yeah,
of
no
the
kidding.
evening.
Ugh.
but that's what makes me happy, and I hope someday that Cindy and I and Connor and now Cam and Michaela and Chloe can maybe have a Thanksgiving up there again, because we don't have any running water. There's
Mm-hmm.
electricity.
Yeah, it is a
It's a
cozy
it's
feel.
cozy,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes you feel closer. Like it's just one of those things. And now I'm feeling like Kelley just doesn't want to talk to us, Ashley.
Oh no, I do.
I can't see him. Anyway.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
listening. I'm always
After
listening, Rick.
kind of after developing, like you both have said, just different, like that was a random tradition with your own
Yeah.
family now. Because sometimes when it's so big, you can't even connect with everybody, or that's the way I feel with my, he was here and he's gone. Then he's back.
I'm
Uh,
in and out, baby,
yeah,
like a shadow.
yeah, right. I think sometimes when your family gets so big and it's all that extended, you can't even catch up. If you see each other once a year, it's so hard to be able to see everyone catch up, so you're just kind of distant. I know that I feel like when we get together with just our family, if that is the case, it's way more intimate.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
And it's just really, really good conversations. I'm like, I don't know why why sometimes that only takes place over Thanksgiving, but I don't know. But it works.
Well, it's kind of like, and I hate to say this, but like Kelley was saying, it's about listening to the old stories. I got to sit in the cabin and listen to all
Oh,
the
I
old
can't
stories,
imagine.
and I wish there would have been there's times that you wish, why didn't, I mean, technology these days, I would have probably had a recorder going to listen to these things and nobody would have known about it. At least you could have heard it. But that history is gone with when we die.
Hmm.
And because nobody recorded that stuff, but we have it in our heads. And I miss that part of listening to the stories of old hunting days or whatever else that was going on. And you know, those are like Kelley was just saying, those are the things that make you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel lucky. I feel so lucky in those aspects because I came out, like I said, my first time I came out, I was 10 years old.
Hmm.
And I came out on Thanksgiving Day with my cousin Danny, and rolling up and having a day, that was just fun.
Mm-hmm.
And the adventure, you're 10 years old and you finally get to go and you're
To the
feeling like,
family cabin.
yeah. And during the hunting season when everybody's there, because
Yep.
when you go other times, it was just us, which was
Mm-hmm.
fine. But the relationships and the stories and the memories that one gains from these things well, it's kind of like I've heard, like, if you ever move away from the house you grew up in, you should never go back because whoever bought it, if it, whatever, it changes. You'll never have the same memories. So it everything starts changing, and as we grow, things start changing and things get smaller because we get bigger. But you know what? We'll always have those memories of that time that we were there. You always have those memories of I enjoyed, when I was younger, you'd get tired, so I'd get to ride around with the old fellas and listen to stories. That's because what they would do is they'd drop people off and then pick them up later along the road. So I just get to listen to that stuff, or I'd be out there, and I miss that time. And you can try to relive those times, but of course, I mean, it's amazing how you and I have been places that I say that tree was only 5 foot high and now it's
Right.
15 foot high, or whatever, and what used to be trees here, now there's a fire or
Mm-hmm.
whatever else
Hmm.
happened. So those memories that we have are amazing. I mean, I don't know, I don't think it was Thanksgiving night. I think it was maybe the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. The only time I got temporarily misplaced in the hills. I don't think I was really lost. I was just misplaced. And I um it was a snowy day, and when I got to the highway, I knew where I was.
Oh boy.
And I was 15 years old, and I went the wrong direction.
Oh my God.
And I got to the highway, and this guy picks me up and says, "You know where you're at?" And I said, "Yeah, I do, and I know it's a long ways back to the cabin."
No, I'm not anywhere close to
It-
where I should be.
And we were just north of Rochford, and I'm a long ways from where I should be.
Holy cow.
But I'm 15
Yeah.
years old and I can walk. And so he takes me into Rochford and he says, "This is funny. We'll stop." At that time, Green Acres was there and the Moonshine Gulch. We'll see if anybody's looking for you. I said, "Nobody's going to be looking for me. Not yet. They're not going to be looking for me." And so we stopped in there and at Green Acres, and he said, "Anybody looking for him?" Nope. Went to the Moonshine Gulch. Nope. Nobody's looking for him. He said, so he took me to the cabin, which was 8 miles from Rochford. And he says,
Oh my God.
"You know, in the hills, 8 miles is a long ways.
Yeah.
Up and
15
down there.
years old?
15,
It's like-
Yeah.
no head,
in-
It's like,
no
yeah, it's
headlamp
like
and a
20
fanny pack.
miles.
Yeah. In November?
Yeah, no headlamp and a fanny pack. And
my
a 30-30 rifle. And I Winchester 94, I better say that. And we pull up into the cabin, and they just started to come out to look for me. And do you realize, I mean, look at us right now. It's 4:30 and it's dark out.
Yeah.
I didn't get back to the cabin until 8.
He's out there somewhere.
That's how but it's interesting about that stuff is that's how you
Growing up
grew
as a
up.
latchkey kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, nobody's really worried about you, but
Be home by dark 4 hours later.
and that's
Right.
like I said, that's a fanny pack. That's not a bad.
Oh my God.
I'd be prepared to be able to be in the woods right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're in cotton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
it's terrible.
you're in blue jeans. Nowadays I'd be prepared, but then it's just amazing. And my mom was there, and she was starting to get a little worried, and told
Yeah.
my dad, and you guys better start looking for him. Yeah, you know.
It's
Ah,
nuts.
he's all right. He'll find his way in.
It'll be fine.
I found my way. But
Oh my God.
those are Thanksgiving memories, you know. That was an adventure. I mean, I'll always have that in my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'll let you guys talk here, but I remember one other Thanksgiving. It was just my dad and I, and we came around. I mean, it's snowing and blowing, and we came around this hill, and I'm not kidding you. This is when I was still wishing I had an elk tag in the Black Hills, and there was probably 30, 40 elk just standing there looking at us
Oh, that's
above
so
us, and it was one of those most beautiful views. That's before cell phones,
Mm-hmm.
before I could pull out my phone and take a video or a picture of this.
You clearly don't need it. It's a vivid memory.
It is a vivid memory.
Oh
And
yeah.
when we have those memories of love and caring, of being with those people, I mean, that's the best thing in the whole wide world.
Mm-hmm. I think sometimes too with traditions, you get so wrapped up into like, oh, but this is the way we've always done it, that sometimes those little changes are necessary. Well, like Kelley, the evolution of like your family from what
Yeah.
you know, they all go to your house and things now, and well, Rick and I were just talking about this, I don't know, a few weeks ago when we were talking about the word legacy came up. I know we've talked about that to extent on here before, and I said, did you see there was something on social media that said you're only 2 generations away from being completely forgotten. And the cool thing about there not being phones when they were telling those stories when you were a kid is you get to pass down those stories like you just did. You get to tell other people about them, and if they were recorded, you'd probably just tuck it away saying, well, we can listen to it whenever. But because you keep repeating them because they're not recorded, then
Yeah.
you get to keep telling the stories.
Yep.
And that sparks new memories. And I always think that's cool because, I never thought I'd enjoy Thanksgiving with just Jesse and I and my parents, but when you have nowhere like really else to go and there's not, and Iowa's a long drive, so uh, it's
I'm
like
in Iowa right now.
I yeah,
That's
it's
why
a
you're.
long drive, and then to turn around and do it again at Christmas or New Year's,
Yeah,
it's a
right on.
lot, in the winter. So when my parents, I don't even know how we started. They were like, "Well, why don't we could just come out to you?" And I was like, "All right, so what are we gonna eat?" My mom was like, "We'll figure it out." So it's all right. So we did that,
Yeah.
and then we have gone bird hunting a number of times after Thanksgiving. My parents will come out for the weekend, or we'll go back to Iowa. My dad will line up fields and things like that if we want to go bird hunting.
Hmm.
That's been fun. And then I don't know when we started Black Friday shopping, but I remember this was back in the day when it was nuts. When people used to line up, and I remember my mom and I, well, actually, I'll go back. My parents, one time, day after Thanksgiving, wanted to see what all the hype was about. I will never forget this. We lived on the farm, and they woke us up at I don't know what time to drive to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And we ended up, I think, outside of like a Shopko or something like that. And they were like, "All right, kids, we're going inside." It's still just black as night out. And my brother wakes up and he goes, "I don't have any shoes." Shoes. He goes, "I don't have any shoes." So they were like, "What? What are we gonna do?" Because they woke him up like out of bed. So my dad piggybacked him into the store to buy him a pair of shoes, and we just wanted to see. I'll never forget this. Just wanted to see, and it was nuts. People are insane. After that, my dad's like, "I'm never doing this again." And then it was a competition to see how good of a parking spot he could get, on the busiest shopping day of the year to see if he could
Right.
get an upfront parking spot. And then my mom and I just started going, and now I hammer out all of my Christmas shopping one day. I'm done. One day. I have that day, and that's it. That's it. I'll order a couple things online, and I'm done.
Uh,
I have her there, and so that's always been fun. And we talk all the time about how Black Friday used to look in Sioux Falls, just the crazy driving and these insane people after the weirdest items that you're like, I have no idea why anybody would act like that for that item, but whatever. And now we just relive those days and we laugh so hard about it. And then those were the days too that remember that people used to camp outside
yeah.
Best Buy for
Mhm.
like the night of Thanksgiving, like the second they were done eating, in tents,
Yep.
in chairs, in November in eastern South Dakota. Blew my mind. I was like, how bad do you need that TV?
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. The TV, the
Yeah,
big screen.
now there's so many. You
Yeah.
could just throw a dart at the wall and you could, pick
Yeah.
a Black Friday special, right? But I was like, because you never knew how many there were. No one ever said. It was always while supplies last. That
Yep.
could be one, that could be 500. You have no idea.
Yeah.
But people were willing to risk hypothermia and lose their fingers and toes
No
over a
kidding.
TV deal. Oh my God. Oh
Yeah.
God, we laugh
The
about that all the time now.
the first one of those I was at was a Walmart with my kids, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. Like, I
Insane.
gotta, yeah, you gotta wrap your kids up with a rope to keep tab them because they could get pulled away from you in the crowd. Like, it was
Yes.
nuts.
Yes, it's like a mosh pit at a concert.
It is.
It's something you can't even explain. Like,
Really?
have
I've
you
never
never
been.
seen it?
Nope. Oh,
It's
I've seen it on
insane.
TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the news channels in Sioux Falls would
Yeah.
show up and be outside. They would skip from the stores that open at 5 and 6 and 7, and
Wasn't
they would.
Rick? You don't remember Tickle Me Elmo?
Oh, that was a
I
big
know.
one.
See, and my sister got a Cabbage
Like,
Patch doll,
those
but I
that
wasn't
Tickle Me
there.
Elmo thing was crazy. People
Yeah.
were willing to kill each other for those dumb
Yeah,
dolls.
one thing I'll never forget
Black
is
Friday.
seeing in a Target, and this Target, I kid you not, all the carts were bumper to bumper. Like you should never take a cart back in the day because you will not move in that store. It was just a complete traffic. There was no way to
Yeah.
push them. The whole thing was carts. There was no carts left. And I remember we went back to the toy section and we didn't need any toys or we just wanted to see the commotion. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Then this is when I wish we had like readily available cell phones so like we could relive this.
Yeah.
But there was people chucking, I kid you not, those Blues Clues tablets when it was big, you know, with the specialty pen and whatever.
Yeah.
And this lady, I'll never forget, she's like, "Who needs one?" And she's like whipping them into the, I'm not
It's
kidding
insane.
you. And these parents were like jumping up, grabbing these notepads. I'm not kidding. It was nuts. And this lady's like, "That's it. There's only like 7 more," you know, and she's, I mean, it was crazy. And then the lines to check out and how much time you wasted. And this again was before online shopping,
Yeah.
before this was available. You had to go
Yeah.
to the store to get these items. And these parents were ready to start slaying people to get whatever the item was for their kids that year. I mean, I will never forget seeing it. It was something you almost had to have seen. Like, yeah, my dad only had to see it once. He's like, "I'm never doing this again."
Nope, done. like my wife goes, "You want to go to Fargo with us and go Black Friday shopping?" No, I would rather
Be in the
stick-
Badlands.
I would much rather be in the Badlands.
I don't know. And then it just got addictive to like seeing the commotion. It was like free reality TV, and you were like in it.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't want to watch, but you can't take your eyes off it.
No, it was amazing. And then kind of you just wanted to show up to be like, what does everybody want this year that you feel like you can't live without? And it wasn't even stuff that people actually wanted. They just wanted it because everybody else did. They didn't need it. Like, how many crock pots and toasters do you need for $5?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's around Thanksgiving. I don't even know what year we started doing that. But we talk about the evolution of Black Friday. You know, now it's been going on for a
Well-
week already.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Friday, and then what? Cyber Monday, and you got
Yeah,
it's
all that
insane.
stuff.
It gets crazy. Yep.
Yeah.
That-
But now
yeah,
I
those are-
associate Thanksgiving with that.
Those are good Thanksgiving memories right there. Yeah.
Those are really good ones. How
I
to
love
not
to see
die.
people. I love seeing people smashed into a little tiny aisle like they're cattle in a feedlot,
Yeah.
and they can't
Yeah.
move. They're packed in there so tight. It's like,
The day after we thank the Lord for everything we're blessed with.
exactly.
And we punch people. Yeah.
I know, then you turn into a completely, like, the most rude version of yourself just trying to survive a Shopko.
Because I gotta have that Blu-ray DVD.
I know, those were insane. Again, I just can't. And then when they like developed out the maps, I hate to keep going on this, but
Oh.
I think back at this and how stupid this all was, but how much like the entire country fed into it. It was
Yeah.
we all drank the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Wait,
We're still drinking the Kool-Aid. It's just a different flavor.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I cannot believe how much money Amazon is going to make this next Black Friday, like, or this whole week right now. I mean, they started
Yeah.
2 weeks out.
They started
So it's
now.
like, yes.
Insane.
and it's interesting to me because I've never been in it ever because I was always in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never. But I know what you're talking about because I see it on TV.
Yeah, on the news. Yep.
And it's like, holy crap, why would anybody want to do that anyway?
I don't know. It was insane when you say it out loud because it's
Yeah.
not like you're like, I don't enjoy this. But there was something about it that just
But don't you
you
think
had
people?
to see.
But don't you think people lose their minds over all sorts of stuff? Like,
Yeah,
you just think about
yes.
it, right? Like,
Yes. You-
where I live right now, if there's a big deer running around, it's rifle season. You better duck because somebody's going to shoot. Like,
yeah, I've definitely.
it's
Yes.
crazy. All because he's a
Yep.
big one, you know? And then you got Black
Yeah,
Friday. You've got just people go crazy over the silliest stuff.
they do.
Yeah. And then it's like I said, the only reason you want it is because everybody else does. Even
Yep.
though
There
you're
it
like,
is.
I don't have a need for it. It's just everybody else wants it, you know? Like these stupid Starbucks cups that were all over. Kelly knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
There's these bear cups at Starbucks. When did they release them, Kelly? Last week? A week? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago.
4 a.m.
Really?
People standing in line,
Yeah,
and then they found out there was only two per store.
right.
No.
Yeah,
People lined up, like 20 people, 50 people,
for
Really?
and they would all get one for
Two.
2 cups.
Oh my
And
God.
here's the best part: you can find them on Amazon. They don't say Starbucks, but they're identical for like $12.99.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yep.
But I
Oh,
think the Starbucks cups are getting sold right now on eBay for like 200.
really?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna look.
Are they Yeti cups?
No,
I'm just kidding.
they're plastic bears. They're not even like.
They're not the ceramic Starbucks cups they used to give away, right, or sell.
Really?
Ooh.
Like they were ceramic. They used to be. But like I've got one my dad left at our house that was a ceramic. It's brown or kind of maroon with a white bear on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ceramic. Like it's from way back in the day because
Huh.
he had a buddy who worked at Starbucks or a guy he knew worked at Starbucks and would send them those to him every Christmas,
Look
different
at this.
Starbucks. But this is the one now. It's
Oh,
plastic.
whoa.
$500 eBay.
That's insane. See,
This is
that's crazy.
stupid.
That's crazy. There's some crazy
It's,
coming out
somebody
somewhere right
might
there.
buy that for Christmas. For what? No idea.
Somebody will buy that for Christmas. It's not
Yeah.
might. Somebody's gonna buy
That
that.
is insane.
That
I
is.
don't even know what they retailed for. I just thought it was nuts that there was
But
something that came out. Remember when Furby, was it called Furbies? Those ugly,
Yep.
sinfully ugly little toys that had those giant
yes.
eyes and like no
Yeah.
arms. Yeah, remember people lost their minds
Well,
over that.
the little trolls with the hair that went all
Oh
crazy,
yeah, I had plenty of
right?
those. Yeah, what an ugly toy. And
Yeah.
now there's other ones that are just as ugly that are I'm like, this is crazy. Anyway, and that's you can't talk about Thanksgiving without Black Friday, I don't think.
No, you can't. You cannot.
It's just the day after we're super thankful for everything we have. We're gonna go destroy people for more stuff we don't need.
Yes. And then next year we'll thank God for all of that stuff we got on Black Friday the year before.
Yeah, exactly.
And not remember what it
And
was.
not remember a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh. So good.
No,
Yeah.
it's amazing the memories you have about one holiday though, because I do love the holiday start, like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, then we go into Christmas, then we go into New Year's. It's like a breath, like you have to exhale.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After the whole long year, because once you get through January and you're not once you get to New Year's and you're not a federal worker or a state worker, you don't have a holiday till Memorial Day. But if you're a state worker or federal worker, you have
Ah,
President's Day, you have all these other holidays. But for the normal guy, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are all right there. So it's
yeah.
kind of an exhale. And, I'm not knocking anybody that works in government because I have a wife that works in government too, but it's just one of those things like the major holidays that you get off
Get a
and
break.
you get a break, but everybody like their summer holidays. Otherwise, you have Memorial Day, then you have the 4th of July, then you have Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
And those holidays are summer where people are taking off and going places.
Yeah.
This is because it's usually cold out
Yep.
and you are together wherever you go, starting at Thanksgiving to Christmas to
Mm-hmm.
New Year's, maybe not New Year's, but it's still those things that you remember of because New Year's now, I probably make it to
10 o'clock.
if we're lucky.
Yeah, that's true. Like New Year's now is nothing like it used to be. It,
No.
Oh, you just wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
you got it.
one thing about Thanksgiving, it doesn't matter if it's just you, like if it's just you and Cindy, or it's 100 of your family members, you all do the same thing, right? You go to the same event, you do the same thing, you eat food.
You do.
Christmas, you are go, go, go. Every family is doing something different.
Yep.
It's so busy, you don't have time to sit for 1 second
No.
because it's an extended family. Instead of we all just get together, but no, no, no. Because of gifts and different traditions, now we got to do it with this family, with that family, with this family, with that family. I mean, it's 100 different ways to celebrate Christmas, all different people,
Well,
you know?
and it's also interesting because you said one day and you're done Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm.
I wait till December 23rd.
I don't like to do that.
And here's the deal.
You can't order
Because,
everything online.
well, no, you have to go do it. See,
It's too
I
much
figure,
pressure.
nope, there is no pressure because I figure you go to the store, that looks good. You make a decision right now. There's no him and hawing. It's done. And the other thing is,
You don't
except
have
for
time to
I
him or
feel-
haw.
no, except for
Do
Cindy's.
people return your gifts?
Well, see, that's the other thing about Christmas. Isn't that funny though? We are giving something because people think that we like it and they would do it, and then we think about returning it. So me being the good uncle, me being the good uncle that I am, it has turned into well, Christmas. I can go Christmas shopping on December 23rd because they made that thing called the gift card.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
and
yeah,
now I don't.
yeah.
Now I don't even have to
You
think.
might as well shove money in an envelope and hand it to
That's
him.
right.
Yep, I've
So
definitely
I
turned
got
into
to tell
that
you this.
aunt.
I got to tell you this story, and I know it's not Thanksgiving, but it's a Christmas story. It's hilarious. Okay,
Yeah.
so my mom and dad had all of these ducks, like wooden ducks, little porcelain ducks, just ducks everywhere, and I never could figure out why they had all these ducks. And so we had already moved out of the house, and my brother and I were married, and we had families. And I asked them one day, I said, "Where did all of these? Who loves ducks?" And my dad goes, "That's a funny story because neither one of us like ducks." And I go, "Well, how did you get all of these ducks?" And he said, "I thought your mother loved ducks, so I would buy her a duck for every Christmas. I'd get her a duck."
Oh
And
my
she thought
God.
I like ducks, and so every Christmas she'd get me a duck.
And then there's just all these ducks.
And there's just
Oh
all these
my
different types of ducks.
gosh.
Like they had a bookshelf full of ducks. And I'm like, why didn't you just get rid of them? He goes, there's so many memories on that bookshelf. I'm like,
And you're
I don't
thinking
even
the whole
like
time.
ducks.
And they're each keeping them because they think the other
Yes.
loves
The other
them.
person loves them. Yes. Is that not funny? That is like
Oh
one of the
my
funniest things
God,
I've ever
that's
heard. It's like
hilarious.
40 years of ducks.
40 years times two. You know,
Yes.
like that is
Times
so
two.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. So anyway, I'm sorry. I had to share that story about
No, that's
gift giving
funny.
Yeah.
ducks.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah,
But
some of them were ugly. Anyway, that you
Well,
know,
yeah, you're
you
running
buy
out
a
of options.
yeah, you
isn't
buying a
it?
gift for somebody because you think they like it, and instead of returning it, they think you like them, so they keep them.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
Yeah, out of guilt.
Yep. But isn't?
yeah,
But it's just funny as we grow older how we realize what holidays mean to us.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yep.
You
Well,
know.
I think the connection through story is huge, and so when you can share stories like that, and you can the memories that are attached to those stories are so important, right? Because you're helping someone else see by telling the story, and good storytellers are they make it happen. Like just now, actually telling that story about Good Friday or Black
Yeah.
Friday. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it just you
Good
because
Black
you do.
Friday.
Yeah, good Black Friday. You get really wrapped up in it because it's such a strong memory,
Oh.
and the other person gets to feel kind of the emotion and the excitement at the same time. Like
Yep.
When I talked about riding in the back of a truck, you guys automatically knew. November, you're
I
riding
Exactly.
nine
can't
and a
even
half, 10 hours
imagine.
in the back of a pickup. Yep. And of
On a
course, your
gym
minds
mat.
went like upper Midwest temperatures. It's not quite that cold, but it was cold. And so like that's a cold moment. You got to be kidding me. Like if I was there, what would that be like? And so it's kind of like when you tell these stories, you're bringing somebody into the story themselves, even though they might not have been there, and they get a small taste of the experience. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. I love
Like
it.
when
You...
Rick talks about the 5 times I missed those mule deer up north of Belfouche. You're bringing somebody into the experience,
Oh
right? Like,
gosh.
Well, it wasn't even like he was shooting a rifle because he has to shoot and reload a muzzle loader 5 times. It's not so it's time consuming. He would have got beat up and kicked out of any of these Black Friday stores as long as it took him to.
all I gotta say, it's a good thing it wasn't a bear.
That's right.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh my gosh. That's
And
awesome.
especially then he had the sweat rolling off him because of knee deep snow, and we're trudging
Yeah,
Well,
through
that
it.
is awful.
yeah, yeah. We followed those deer for a long time.
Yeah, we did.
I remember one of those stories like that with Jesse. I went West River hunting opener with them, and I think we were by Kennebec, maybe. It was the worst storm, and this may be too much information, but when I peed, it froze before it hit the ground. That's how cold it was. I kid you
That's
not.
cold.
It was so cold. Like, and the wind was just whipping cold.
Uh,
Like, roads were getting closed left and right. I was like, what are we doing? And we went out there,
Exactly.
and I was like, this is when you're young and stupid,
oh yeah.
and you're like, it's fine. You're like, can't see 10 feet in front of you. I was like, what are we doing? And then we found a buck. I'll never forget this. Oh my God. We found a buck, and Jesse sneaks over this hill, and I was like, well, he knows what he's doing. And I'm just hanging back watching this, and he's like, he gets up to the top of the hill, and he had his gun ready, and then all of a sudden I see him put his gun like back over his shoulder, and he looks at me, and his arms go up in the air, and he says, "Where'd he go? Where'd he go?" I was like, I don't know. I was like, I didn't see this buck leave. I said, "Are you sure you got the right hill?" We're talking full voice
Yeah.
because the wind's blowing so loud you couldn't hear anything anyway.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this buck gets up on the other side of me. I was like, it was this one. It was this hill. And he gets up, and Jesse shoots that thing. And that thing ran a little ways, and he had to put another bullet in it. And we had to pack that sucker out. And by the time we were done cutting it up, everything was frozen. I have a picture of Jesse. The snow went from, mid shin to like above our knees, trudging through this all the way back up to the
Yeah.
truck. And this was awful. It was the worst trip of my life. And then we stayed in some hotel, and I was like,
And,
what is
and,
this?
and what I hear right now is, wow,
Oh
good
my.
times, good
Yeah.
times. Like those were good times.
Just second guessed our marriage that day, I think, because we walked out and we were like, it was the cold where your eyelashes freeze together, when
Yes.
you're
Yeah. Oh
walking and you're
yeah.
like, you can barely see, and this has ice crystals, and our packs, like the snow was sticking to our packs,
Yeah.
like as it was blowing, because it was a full blown blizzard. He's like, well, we got to get back to the hotel. We're going to leave tomorrow and go hunt. And I don't remember what county we were headed to, like even further west. And I was like, the interstate's closed. Like, how? How are we?
Right.
How are we going to go anywhere? It's like the
Put
roads
your
are
pack on.
closed. He's like,
Get your
how are
pack
we going to
on.
kill a buck if we don't go right now? I was like, we physically can't. Like, oh my God. I was like, I
Yeah.
never want to come on this trip again. I don't ever want this tag. I don't ever want to do this again. It was awful. Delker was there.
Really?
Delker was there. He wasn't with us,
Yeah.
but he was hunting that same weekend. I was like, this sucks. I was like, you guys do this? I'm like, I'm out. Oh, it was awful. God, I'll never forget that. Oh, that trip. I was like, don't ever bring me along that. I was like, I'm not interested. Just, I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Good times.
Yeah, but
Good times. That's
they
it.
are good
Good
Yeah.
times.
times.
Good times.
Never
Yep.
forget it. I'll never forget it.
Well, that's why I wanted to do this episode is if people listen to this episode and make it this far,
Yeah.
uh, which I would make it this far because I'd want to know what the next story is going to be. But it's about, I hope they look at themselves and go, not even just Thanksgiving memories, but memories,
Mm-hmm.
and say,
Yeah.
I need to remember that stuff. I'm glad I had those adventures, or I'm glad Ashley and I were doing an episode that will be coming out after this when you came into this
Yeah.
this episode, and then we couldn't get on for 2 hours. That's besides the point, but yeah, but it was that's what Don't Die Rusty's is about. Is not it's about. I should have said this in that episode, but I'll say it now. Don't Die Rusty is when you're too old to be able to go on those adventures and I'm saying like you're slower and you can't, I see 95-year-old guys going and doing stuff, but I'm saying if something ever happened to us, or if some we were injured or whatever, we can't
Yeah.
be as mobile as we were, we'll always have those memories.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
why that's what but I'm not going to die rusty now, and I'm not going to die rusty then because I'm going to have memories.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to be pushing whatever limits I can every day to have those
Yeah.
memories, to tell you
But
the
also,
story.
yeah.
Because we've been
And
places.
and to try to create more, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest, we want to create more of those memories.
And different
And
ones.
for the
Like, I
next
don't have a
generation. Yeah.
desire. I
Yeah.
don't have a desire to do that anymore. And you get older and you get wiser. You're like, that was stupid.
Yeah, but
Like,
you can tell the story.
Yep.
so
'Cause
stupid.
on Thanksgiving 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was skinning out a deer, boning it out because I shot it, and that's where I have that stab in my leg.
Yeah.
And I still have the scar, and as everybody knows, that everybody loves scars because they tell a story.
Yeah, to last. forever.
Yeah.
And it's funny at that time. I mean, I told Montana Knife about the stab, but I'm walking out. I when I stabbed myself, I knew that I was bleeding. And I kind of looked at it and I went, well, I don't think it's too bad. I'll keep on boning out this deer. And I boned it out. I packed it out. And I got to cell service because I had no cell service. And I still am a mile away from my four-wheeler at the time. And I called my dad because I wasn't going to call Cindy and say I stabbed myself. I get back to the camp and I'm too tired. And it's cold enough that, I mean, it was Thanksgiving Day night. And I just climbed in my tent. I had a wonderful Mountain House macaroni and cheese with bacon bits in it. And I kind of glued up my stab wound. And I woke up the next morning and I can remember the feeling of it's funny how I can tell a story of how it happens, how things happened. And it's that deer right there actually that I shot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I
Is that the mountain house you ate?
no, that was not the one I ate. That one's gone. But I remember everything about that day. I remember the buck standing over a shed antler.
Mm-hmm.
I remember shooting it.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the horn falling off. And I remember, and the horn fell off because it just fell off. And
That was
But I
your
remember
horns
the
going
I remember the wind in my face. I remember kind of the sleet later,
on.
and I remember how it made me feel like you've accomplished something throughout this whole thing because it's dark out.
Mm-hmm.
People are don't know where you are really. I have my spot, but I'm not using it. Well, actually, I have my spot that I can. I could have text out,
Mm-hmm.
but those are the adventures that take us to places we may never be. You're never going to be. Well, I'm not saying you're never, because here I used to think that I had bad luck, but Jesse and Ashley, Jesse went to scout a mountain goat with his pickup and his wheel falls off. Then he leaves here to go hunting again and he has a flat tires. So he had to get new tires.
Jesse should get a tire sponsor.
He should. Toyota, if you're listening.
We need a lifetime supply of tires because clearly we can't get through a month or two.
Yeah. But the memories that we make, Thanksgiving is some of my best and favorite memories
Mm-hmm.
in my whole life. And it doesn't have to be Thanksgiving, but it's around that Thanksgiving
Mm-hmm.
time when there's a feeling of family, there's a feeling of peace, when we aren't rushing around, not, nothing like Christmas where
It's
like
parties and gifts.
and
Oh,
gifts and
yeah.
you're wondering if you got the right thing or whatever, or you have to go to the in-law side and then you got to go to your parents' side, and then it becomes the time that stresses you out where
Yeah.
filling our bellies and talking about these memories are so much more
It's so much better.
peaceful.
So much better. I know, because when at Christmas too, what do? You eat and you're like, or whatever order your family does it in, okay? But you eat and open gifts and things like that. And then Thanksgiving, it's like you eat and you clean up and you just hang out. There's no like other activity.
No.
And then everybody has the day off. I'm like, Thanksgiving should really happen like once a quarter, like for your family, so you could actually sit down and get to see everybody 4 times a year potentially.
And you could eat, sleep, and
And truly be merry.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like I don't know about you guys. I used to I I am in Iowa. This is a hunting cabin. And I'm using that term loosely. Um, but I used to come to Iowa every year, and my dad would come, and my best friend would come, and uh, we'd hunt with my brother-in-law and my father-in-law and a couple of their close friends here, and it was hunt camp. Like you get together and you hunt that day, and then if you're skinning, you're skinning, you're telling stories, you get together and eat, and you spend time. I feel like hunt camp can be that pseudo Thanksgiving moment where you're spending time remembering the stories and the of yesteryear, like what happened last year or 2 years ago, or you remember that buck we chased, or you remember when my brother-in-law Tracy was shooting at this buck this guy had already hit, like the deer was trying to get up, and he's shooting at it, and when the deer first time the deer fell right as he shot, and he shoots an antler off the top of its head. And I said, Dave's not going to be very happy with you. And then one of his buddies goes, Tracy, he's getting up again. So Tracy shoots again and knocks the other antler off.
Shut up.
No, he shot the two antlers off with a shotgun slug.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
so
my
you
God,
know what
that's
that's
so
going to
funny.
do to the antlers. And so the guy
Yes.
took it pretty well. I think Tracy ended up, because when you party hunt, anybody can tag the animal, and I think
Yeah.
Tracy tagged it because he shot the antlers off of it. I mean,
Oh
they
my
didn't even find one
gosh.
of them. But it's just like
Ah.
we talked about that. You remember when Tracy shot the antlers off that deer? I thought Dave was going to kill him, and it didn't happen that way. But it's just one of those funny memories. You're a
Yo,
part of all of that, and you talk about it. And just like you guys talking about some hunting trips here, like
Yeah.
even in this podcast format, we can have a little pseudo like Thanksgiving time where you're sharing stories and people get to hear these things and listen in on some experiences that we've had. And like you sit and wonder and you go, wow, that's crazy, or hey, that's awesome, or I can't believe that, and Thanksgiving then ends up being something maybe where it is not necessarily once a quarter, but it comes around more often, right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Like
Yep.
I love celebrating the holiday itself and being with family, but there's something about hunting with friends. There's something about sitting around a campfire. There's something about going, like for us. My son-in-law loves to ice fish, so we go ice fishing and we go spearing, and he's got an ice house now, and so I haven't got to sit in it yet, but we're going to this year. And
Yeah.
in those moments when you're sitting in an ice house and you're fishing, even like those are moments when you're sharing stories and you're talking about life, and I think it's part of what we and I believe this about humanity. We are people of the story, like well, the oral tradition, even though it might be somewhat gone, is still kind of in our roots. And so to tell stories and talk about what we've experienced and how, and to bring the funny into it and to bring life back into it, the story is part of who we are. It should be something that we kind of hang on to as tightly as we can. And Rick, you're talking about as we get older and start to experience mortality a little bit better,
Mhm.
uh, there's some things we just can't do, right? Like there's some things we can't do, and then there's some things we learned, right? Actually, we won't do. I'm not doing that
Yep.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be
exactly.
stuck in a blizzard trying to chase pack a buck out again. That's not
Yeah,
going to happen.
no.
So there is something about getting older and wiser at the same time. So uh, there's still parts that we get to play in the stories of other people, right?
Yep.
And then by sharing the story, by being there, um, it makes a difference. And these are formative moments that get passed on. And so, like, my grandkids are going to hear the story of my son-in-law shooting his first deer with a bow.
Yep.
It's a funny story. It's about him experiencing the first time what it's like to draw back on a deer that's at 10 yards. And it's not just a deer, it's a 160. And he's sitting in my tree stand. And I'm like, what are you doing shooting my deer? I'm joking. I was I was really happy for him. And then I get a phone call and I thought he fell out of the tree stand. He's breathing so hard. Those are moments that my grandkids are going to hear about their dad or their uncle, and they're going to go, "Oh, we're hunters. Yep, that's what we do, man." Like that. It's just an action that takes place every year. It's part of our tradition. It's in our DNA. And hear stories that prove that, right? So now it's formative. Now the kids are learning and they're hearing these stories about dads and grandpas and uncles and great grandpas and all of these when we get together. And I think that's what's so valuable about Thanksgiving is getting together, even if it's with another couple or just a couple of people. Like it maybe like I think it's awesome, Ash, that you get to spend time with your mom and dad. And you probably don't like it at times. I mean, my mom and dad drove me nuts some. Um, but there's those moments that you're just not ever going to get back, you know?
Yep.
And it's
No, I
important.
love it and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And here's the other deal. I mean, we're going to be getting close, shutting down here a bit, but Ashley did learn from that experience of the snow because she put a little. She has about $1 million life insurance policy on Jesse now, so she doesn't have to go along. And when he doesn't come back, froze to death, snow covered. Look,
Stupid decisions, go ahead.
he's gonna look. I can't think of what was the mountain man that in Jeremiah Johnson with when he got his hawking?
Uh, right, I know who it was.
Uh,
My brain's
I
not working.
but that's going to be Jesse frozen in the snow with a Hawken rifle in his
Yeah,
hand, and
exactly. I don't know if he'd do that again. He
This
remembers
here
that
gun
trip.
killed the bear that killed me.
yeah.
Think if that was the trip too, and we had a mouse in our hotel room. I can't remember.
But I want to thank you guys because every time we get together, it's always a good time. We always get to enjoy each other's stories and thoughts on life, and I thank you guys for being in that inner circle of mine. Because Ashley's been here since 6:30,
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
and we get to
He's a
hang out
trooper.
and talk.
Yeah,
She is a trooper. So I want to
past
thank
my
Well,
bedtime
and
now.
thank you for Kelley for trying to get on and trying to get on and finally getting on.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my phone or your phone or but it worked, so we got it
You
together.
threw him off,
Well, I did throw him off, and he is in Iowa though. I'll have to say that one.
and
Yeah,
yeah, that's the
I am in
problem.
Iowa. I got
Yeah, I
5G
don't
in
know
four
what they
bars,
do to
so
there. I don't know what they do to you down there, but
Well, I'm hooked
some
up.
it
changes.
gets messed up. Uh,
The computer's hooked up hard to the my router, so we're good. But yeah,
yeah, I
no,
don't know.
but it's all
It's
good, you know.
it. Hey, I want to say this, and this is what I love about being a part of this group is the authenticity and the genuineness that just it kind of oozes. And maybe that's not maybe that's seen as a negative word, but I just think it oozes out of you guys, and I'm hoping that I can be a part of that to be genuine and authentic and just transparent. And people, I think people see it. I really do, and I love that about this group. Like
Hmm.
we can do that and have those conversations and laugh at each other and laugh at ourselves. Like I think that's a big deal to be able to do that, and for people to see that, I don't think it's common. I think that it's an uncommon thing to experience something that's real. You know, it's not a mask somebody's putting on, or it's people talking with a genuineness and an authenticity. I can't get away from those words that that they just don't see every day, and people need that. People need to see that more often in life. So thanks for that. Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
Well, yeah, I'm thankful to have these conversations. I love people who can exchange good stories and good life experience, and I hope anybody that does listen to this, like, it inspires somebody to just tell old stories
yeah,
over
Yep.
Thanksgiving because it really does. And then you'll get a story in return that maybe you have forgotten about, which I love. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I love when somebody can drum something up like that I've completely I mean, you can't remember it all, but
Y-
I love
Right.
that.
Yeah.
but it is that one thing that says, "Oh, I do remember that time," and that that was
That was fun.
that was
And
fun.
then you tell the story again to
Yeah,
somebody else because somebody told it to you.
and then
Right.
yeah, those things that we sometimes forget, but we don't,
Hmm.
and it's still in the back of our mind, but you remind me of that stuff or whatever. And because I like how you said being authentic and not having a mask, because I wore this for for Halloween, and I just went as myself, scared people. So anyway, uh, I want to say thank you because this is a very authentic group, and this is why I love sending out that text saying, "Hey, you want to get together? Hey, did, then I will not stop calling." As Kelley knows, as Kelley
Yeah.
knows, I will not stop texting and calling until you respond to me.
Yes.
And,
So that I apologize for that yesterday. I was up to my elbows and we you're you're not gonna believe this, but that's okay. We raise butcher pigs, and then we keep one and we usually give one to our kids, and then we sell the other ones. Well, one of the guys who buys pigs from me has a little place where we can butcher. So we slaughtered on Saturday and we cut them all up yesterday, five.
Oh
So
my
when you
gosh, that's
called,
so
Rick,
much.
I was not gonna touch my phone with my greasy pig hands because I was greased up.
Mm.
Like that's a lot of pork to be working through. We started at 8 and didn't finish till like 4 o'clock that evening, and then I just went home and crashed because
Yeah, and
Holy.
you don't want to be the guy that holds up the line on that ordeal.
yeah, and there was
No.
only there was quite a few of us on Slaughter Day on Saturday, but on Monday there was just two of us, and finally
You don't want
towards
to be
the
that
end
guy.
he called in his brother, and his brother came and helped us for a few hours, but yeah, so I could not answer the phone,
All
and
right.
that's why.
But
Like,
I never give up. Like I called
no,
him.
and that's good.
I thought, well, I thought because I text you when I went out for my walk because I know you're up,
Yeah.
and I thought, and then I just about got back and I knew the time change. I thought, well, I'm gonna call him see if he's up. And then I thought, heck, he might be in a tree stand. Maybe I shouldn't have called him. So I kind of hung up. And then he texts me back, I'll call you back. And then he doesn't call me back for a second. So, and this is truly, he says, and I call him back. And then we finally talk.
Well, no, you called me back and I didn't answer again,
Yeah.
and then I called you back, and then you called me back again, and then
Oh my
we finally got
gosh.
a hold of each other. Yeah, it was playing
Can
phone tag.
can you do an episode tonight? I said, yep. He said, yep. And then we figured out everything.
Yeah,
So it
that
was
was this
good.
morning. Yeah.
Oh,
But thank you guys for being my friend, and thank you guys for being you, and thank you for putting up with this fella.
Ah,
anytime. It's
All
our
right.
pleasure.
All right.
yes.
Well,
It's an
you have a
honor. So
well, thank you, and you have a happy time in Iowa,
will do my
and
best.
and
It
you
would be
have
better
a
if I had a bow in my hand, but that's not what's going on. So
all right. Well, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
yes, you too.
This will come out on Tuesday, so hopefully everybody listening has a happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to be leaving Thursday morning, and I'll be out and about.
Awesome.
But I'll get the episodes out, but I'll be hanging out with my dad, and
Gonna be awesome.
that's the most important thing to me.
That's primo.
So
Sure is.
anyway, everybody keep chasing your dreams, being the best you. Don't die rusty. Happy Thanksgiving. Love y'all.